Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 575 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin had too many things he wanted to take out of his storage space. However, he only had one chance to take something out without damaging his storage space. After pondering a bit, he made his decision. Right now, the puppet that was infinitely close to an early-stage void turbulent cultivator was most useful to him. The Yi-Sai puppet he had obtained deep inside the ancient tomb appeared in Wang Lin's mind. Without hesitation, he reached toward the space stone and his divine sense went inside. He opened his storage space inside. The moment his storage space was opened, the space stone trembled. One of the spaces inside replaced Wang Lin's storage space and collapsed. The moment it collapsed, a monstrous killing intent charged out from Wang Lin's storage space. In a flash, a figure with long limbs, scarlet tongue, and thin body appeared next to Wang Lin. It was the Yi-Sai puppet that looked like a thin monkey. Bursts of roars and a fierce aura came from the Yi-Sai puppet. It stared at Wang Lin and slowly remembered who Wang Lin was. Only then did the ferociousness in its eyes lessen a bit. Wang Lin coldly looked at the fierce figure covered in killing intent and slowly said, "Yi-Sai, guard me." Roar? The Yi-Sai puppet's eyes became fierce as it stared at the entrance to the cave, and its scarlet tongue dragged on the ground. It was a shocking sight. At this moment, if anyone entered the cave, they would be attacked by the crazed Yi-Sai puppet. Wang Lin was still worried and looked at the Mosquito King ink tattoo. The moment he looked down, the Mosquito King's eyes revealed a cold gaze and seemed to be looking at Wang Lin. The Mosquito King was the last layer of protection Wang Lin had prepared for his closed-door cultivation. Only now did Wang Lin relax a bit. He sat down in the cave and looked at the water droplet with excitement. He took a deep breath and pressed the water droplet between his eyebrows. The moment the water droplet touched the area between his eyebrows, the blood in his body seemed to boil. The water essence in his body immediately fused with the new water droplet and a shocking change took place. During this change, Wang Lin's body rapidly withered as if all water and blood in his body gathered at one point. His body rapidly withered. In just half an instant of time, he was like a skeleton. His hair was dried and his skin was covered in wrinkles. He was like a corpse that had been dried up for many years. The water essence droplet had absorbed all the water and blood inside Wang Lin. It was crystal clear, but it was hidden inside his body and couldn't be seen from the outside. The condensing and absorption of the water essence was like this, it looked terrifying. This was because a cultivator's body naturally contained water, and even blood contained water. As he condensed the water essence, his body would naturally be affected. It was why his body looked like dried-up corpse. Time slowly passed and 7 days went by. During these 7 days, Wang Lin remained motionless as if he was really dead. If not for the fact that his aura not only didn't disappear but got stronger, people would think something had happened to him. 2 days later, Wang Lin's dry body trembled and he opened his eyes. His eyes were cloudy as if even the water in his eyes had disappeared. "Scatter, water essence," a hoarse voice came from Wang Lin's mouth and his dried-up hand formed a seal. The water essence droplet that had reached its limit suddenly exploded. Wang Lin's body trembled and he quickly recovered. This recovery happened in an instant. Wang Lin was no longer dried up and his skin was crystal clear. There seemed to be a light cycling inside and outside of his body. He remained in this state for 9 days. During these 9 days, the water droplet that had fused with him rapidly rotated, and it was obviously smaller than it was 18 days ago. It seemed like these 9 days of condensing and 9 days of scattering formed a cycle. After the first cycle ended, the second cycle immediately began. On the 19th day of Wang Lin's closed-door cultivation, his body changed and instantly withered into a dried-up body. The water droplet in his body flashed rapidly. This repeated many times. Wang Lin went through 7 cycles of being dried up and then saturated. After 7 cycles, the water droplet in Wang Lin was less than 20% of its original size. Several months passed. Wang Lin ignored everything outside during these several months and wholeheartedly immersed himself in absorbing the water essence. He understood that once he succeeded in forming the water essence, his cultivation level would immediately increase. And this water essence was a corporeal essence. It would have the same problem as his fire essence: the fusion and devouring of wool. However, Wang Lin's water essence had only reached small completion before, and after fusing it with the water essence of the immortal astral continent, the rejection wasn't too great. He could endure it. Time passed once more and another 18 days went by. Wang Lin had gone through the 8th cycle. After 8 cycles, the water droplet was very small, and if one didn't look closely, they wouldn't even see it. While Wang Lin was in closed-door cultivation, his essence true body protected the cave outside. Inside the cave, the Yi Sai puppet guarded against everything. The Yi Sai puppet hadn't had blood for a long time and had become very irritated. It constantly roared and even sometimes looked at Wang Lin with a fierce gaze. However, it knew that Wang Lin was its master, and although this feeling wasn't strong, it did have some effect in helping it resist its urge to devour blood. The other most important thing was that the Yi Sai puppet felt that its master was different from before. He possessed an aura that terrified it. Although it was a faint connection, it had fused with its master's soul. This was the reason Wang Lin allowed it protect him. Although it was bloodthirsty, Wang Lin's will still had an effect. As long as it wasn't for too long, it would be no problem. As Wang Lin's cultivation improved, his will would become even stronger and be enough to control this bloodthirsty puppet. There was also that sliver of aura from his avatar inside his body. Others might find it difficult to detect, but the Yi Sai puppet could. Fan Shan was also in the mountain and had observed the cave Wang Lin was in for a long time. It has been several months now, and the thought in her mind had become intense to the point that she walked out of her cave and headed toward the top of the mountain. Fan Shan stopped 1,000 feet away when she spotted Wang Lin's fire essence true body. Fear appeared in her eyes. She wasn't bold enough to act against Wang Lin when he was in closed-door cultivation but wanted to closely observe him. Then she could complete her teacher's order to slowly curse Wang Lin to death. However, just as she stopped 1,000 feet away, Wang Lin's essence true body opened its eyes and glanced at Fan Shan. Being looked at by the essence true body was the same as being looked at by Wang Lin. Fan Shan trembled and lowered her head. She was about to retreat when a startling roar came from the cave. A thick, black mist came out of the cave and a pair of ferocious eyes appeared inside the fog. A scarlet tongue drooped down from the fog and swayed side to side. It was a shocking sight. Yi Sai was inside the fog, and it had been without blood for months. It was very annoyed when it detected someone outside. It looked at Fan Shan with bloodthirsty eyes and let out a roar before it charged at her. Fan Shan was at the 7th arcane tribulent and was already incredible. However, when she met Yi Sai's gaze, she trembled. Adding this onto her fear of Wang Lin, Fan Shan retreated without hesitation. However, she was obviously not as fast as Yi Sai. The puppet let out a roar and charged at Fan Shan. Its huge tongue lashed out toward her and the black fog blocked her path of retreat. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the sect. Most of the people in the Great Soul sect had gotten the old ancestors' order to not get close to Wang Lin's mountain. When this occurred, they all looked over. Yang Lu was cultivating when she opened her eyes and her expression changed. She had almost forgotten she had sent Fan Shan to curse Wang Lin to death. There was a trace of fear in her eyes as she charged toward Wang Lin's mountain. Inside the cave, Wang Lin was experiencing the 9th and final cycle. Once he succeeded, his water essence would be complete and his cultivation level would increase. However, the drop of water essence was completely used up and his body was withered. Wang Lin opened his eyes and a bright light shined from them. The water essence is not enough to complete the last cycle. I'm still missing a bit. I need a large amount of water. Wang Lin looked terrifying right now. His dried-up body was almost like a skeleton. As he pondered, he looked up and noticed the rumble outside the cave along with Yan Lu's aura closing in. Yi Sai, come back. As Yang Lu closed in on the fog where Yi Sai and Fan Shan were fighting, Wang Lin's voice echoed. At the same time, Wang Lin left the cave and arrived outside. His dry body and terrifying appearance were seen by Yang Lu, and she let out a cry of shock. You? Yang Lu's pupils shrank. Wang Lin's appearance was simply too terrifying. His dried-up body looked like there was no blood left in him. Even if you were to open a wound on his body with a sword, no blood would come out. His hair was dried to the point that it looked like it was going to fall off. Wang Lin's withered body had no trace of water left inside. If not for his powerful origin soul, he would seem no different than a dead person. That white robe around him was very loose, as if it was wrapped around a corpse. The terrifying feeling coming from Wang Lin's body made Yang Lu retreat several steps. There was also Fan Shan, who was fighting with the Yi Sai puppet. When she got a good look at Wang Lin, she also retreated and gasped. Her eyes were filled with fear. What is he cultivating? To end up like this? When Wang Lin's hoarse voice echoed, the Yi Sai puppet turned back into fog and flew back to him. Its ferocious eyes and scarlet tongue matched with Wang Lin's current appearance. It made Wang Lin look like a ferocious demonic cultivator. Yang Lu, I'm in closed-door cultivation. Why did you come here? Wang Lin was like a dead man after losing all the water in his body. Even his eyes had lost the ability to turn, so he had to turn his head to look at Yang Lu. However, not only did his action not lower his aura, it made it even stronger. Yang Lu's heart trembled and she retreated a few more steps. I didn't intend to disturb Elder Wang's closed-door cultivation. However, Shan Meng was being attacked by Elder Wang's strange puppet, so I came to save her. This woman is my maid. There's no need for Elder Yang Lu to worry about her on my behalf. Wang Lin smiled, but his smile was terrifying with that dried-up face. Fan Shan trembled and retreated behind her teacher. This matter is not urgent at this moment. Elder Yang Lu, I have something I'd like to ask. Wang Lin turned his head and looked at Fan Shan with his terrifying eyes before he spoke to Yang Lu. I wonder what Elder Wang wants to ask. Yang Lu's expression was rather solemn. She felt fear toward Wang Lin from the bottom of her heart. I'm not familiar with the Heavenly Bull continent. Do you know any place with a lot of water? It would be best if it was a giant ocean. Wang Lin said, and his voice was like two bones rubbing together. Water. He isn't cultivating a spell but absorbing water essence. Yang Lu's eyes lit up and she immediately saw the problem. She took a deep breath, and after a moment, she said, between the Heavenly Bull continent and the Green Devil continent, there is an endless inland sea. It is about 9 months away. How do I get there? There was a sliver of ghostly light in Wang Lin's eyes. Yang Lu didn't hesitate to wave her right hand. A jade appeared and her divine sense entered it to imprint a map going to that inland sea. She threw the jade toward Wang Lin. He caught it, and after scanning it with his divine sense, he nodded at Yang Lu. Elder Yang Lu, many thanks. With that, Wang Lin waved his sleeve and didn't even look at Fan Shan again. He turned into a mass of fog and flew away. Roar! The Yi Sai puppet followed after Wang Lin, and after it fused with the fog, Wang Lin put it away. At the same time, Wang Lin's fire essence true body looked up. It followed Wang Lin and disappeared into the distance. It wasn't until Wang Lin was gone that Fan Shan relaxed. The Wang Lin just now terrified her, and it was difficult to forget. Yang Lu stood there and pondered for a long time before letting out a sigh. She hadn't put any false information inside the jade and had given the correct information. She didn't pay any attention to Fan Shan and flew back to her cave. As for Wang Lin, after he left the Great Soul Sect, he took a step and ripples echoed before he disappeared. He merged with the world and left without a trace. In a rare prairie in the Heavenly Bull continent, 100,000 kilometers away from the Great Soul Sect, ripples echoed in the sky and Wang Lin walked out. His body still looked like a dried-up corpse, and he looked at the earth. There were many caves inside this endless prairie. It was clear a lot of rogue cultivators lived here. The reason so many rogue cultivators lived here was because the grass here gave off dense celestial energy. It couldn't compare to some of the mountains, but it was not weak. Extreme Sky Prairie. According to Yang Lu's Jade, after arriving here, it will take another 6 months to arrive at the inland sea that connects to the Green Devil continent, Wang Lin pondered as he quickly flew forward. On the immortal astral continent, even with the power of Wang Lin's avatar in the void, he couldn't use spatial bending repeatedly if it was cross long distances. If it was short, like when he moved away from the heavenly mountain, it was fine, but now he had crossed 3 months of travel at once, so he needed some time before he could use it again. He raised his right hand as he flew and a roar came from the Mosquito King tattoo on his arm. The Mosquito King appeared like ink and carried Wang Lin. It let out a happy cry and flew off into the distance. Wang Lin sat on the back of the mosquito beast and closed his eyes. Although his current cultivation was at its peak, his divine sense powerful, and origin soul full, his body was a hidden danger. He had to absorb a large amount of water essence to complete the 9th cycle. As the mosquito beast flew forward, it let out a roar that attracted a lot of divine senses to come out and check. When they saw Wang Lin and the mosquito beast, they all withdrew their divine senses and ignored them. However, a few divine senses followed Wang Lin as if they had other intentions. The prairie was endless and Wang Lin's mosquito beast flew far away. Most of the divine senses following them scattered, but 3 remained closely behind them. Among these 3 divine senses, 2 of them were mid-stage arcane void and 1 person was only at the late stage of spirit void. Their divine senses also dispelled many others from following. After 7 days, when the prairie was about to end, Wang Lin felt like he could use spatial bending for a large-scale movement again. As for the 3 divine senses behind him, he didn't even care at all. He stood up from the back of the mosquito beast. However, just at this moment, a gloomy voice came from behind him. "Fellow demonic cultivator, you came to my extreme sky prairie and just want to leave so casually. Why are you talking so much nonsense with him? We followed him all this way to see if he was just passing through or if he had friends here at the extreme sky prairie. Now we know he is just passing through. Leave your beast behind and this old man will spare you." Another voice filled with a domineering aura came from in front of Wang Lin. If Wang Lin rejected him, then the result would be miserable. As his words echoed, the world behind Wang Lin distorted and a giant, black arm appeared from the sky. It descended through the clouds and reached toward Wang Lin. The arm seemed to contain a powerful force, and it closed in on Wang Lin. Wang Lin turned around. He originally didn't want to cause unnecessary trouble, but someone had targeted him, so it was completely different. Wang Lin turned around and his eyes lit up. His dried-up right hand rose and ripped the sky. A huge rift appeared, seeming as if it was going to devour everything. It was as if the entire world had been split by that rift, and it charged toward the arm. This rift caused a thunderous rumble and the world changed colors. A giant ancient Dao arm appeared behind Wang Lin and ripped sky. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. The black arm that reached toward Wang Lin collided with the rift and was torn apart. 3 muffled groans came from the collapsed black arm and 3 figures were knocked out. The 3 of them looked at Wang Lin and were terrified. They were shocked by the power of Wang Lin's attack. He isn't just a spirit void cultivator. Such a powerful physical body. This person is comparable to an ancient country cultivator. Their expressions changed greatly. As they were pushed back by the shockwave, they split in 3 different directions and quickly escaped. Wang Lin's expression was calm. Since he had acted, he wouldn't easily give up. He raised his right hand and waved. A roar echoed and the Yi Sai puppet appeared with excited gaze and chased after one person. It instantly caught up, and the black fog surrounded the person. Miserable screams echoed and slowly dissipated. Shortly after, the Mosquito King below Wang Lin let out a roar and charged forward toward the late-stage Spirit Void cultivator. Before the person could react, the Mosquito King closed in and its sharp mouth stabbed into him. The person tried to resist as the mosquito inhaled, but Wang Lin casually pointed forward. With one point, the cultivator stopped completely as he watched death closing in. As for Wang Lin, in a flash, he jumped off the Mosquito King and looked at the third person escaping. His fire essence true body turned into a seal of fire and rushed before burning the heavens and earth. It formed a giant mouth to devour the third person. This scene was extremely shocking. The fire connected the heavens and earth as it devoured everything in its path. It closed in on the third person, and just as the third person was about to be devoured, a burst of green light appeared to resist the fire. "Teacher, save me!" The moment he spoke, the grasslands trembled and a muffled roar echoed through the earth. "Stop!" As these words echoed, the earth rumbled and a giant fist made of earth appeared. It flew toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained the same, but there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. As the fist made of earth closed in, he threw a punch. A thunderous bang rumbled. Wang Lin didn't move, but the fist made of earth trembled before it collapsed. A terrified cry came from inside the earth. An earth-yellow figure appeared from the earth. Without hesitating, he took a step and escaped into the ground. From afar, the grass on the earth swayed and hid this person within. At the same time, the third person struggling against the fire with the green light let out a miserable cry and suddenly stopped. The mouth of fire devoured him in an instant. The monstrous fire formed a firestorm, and Wang Lin's essence true body walked out of it. "Want to run?" There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. He looked at the figure trying to escape in the earth, stepped forward, and landed on the ground. "I didn't want to kill you, but you all courting death." Wang Lin let out a cold snort and raised his withered hand. He didn't chase but pressed his hand down on the ground. This caused an aura to erupt from the ground under him, and his dried-up hair drifted upwards. The grass began to rapidly wither and water vapor was rapidly absorbed by Wang Lin's dried hands. This absorption was very fast, and large amounts of green grass around Wang Lin withered. Strands of water vapor flew toward his arms. The grass before Wang Lin withered especially rapidly. If one was above, they would see the shocking scene of the grass before Wang Lin rapidly withering. Strands of water vapor entered Wang Lin's body, and the withering seemed to be chasing the person escaping. The cultivator in the earth felt his heart tremble like crazy. He felt the powerful aura of death chasing him. If that aura touched him, he would die. As he fled, the grass behind him withered even faster. Some of the caves nearby were about to be affected. The escaping cultivator gritted his teeth and rushed toward those caves. Damn it, how can he be so strong? But it is only one person. If he angers everyone, then he will die. The person who had escaped using earth escaped was very fast and was charging toward those caves. The grass behind him rapidly withered and almost caught up to him. When he got close to the caves, there was a flash of coldness in his eyes when a powerful aura suddenly erupted from one of the caves. Following that, a white-haired old man walked out from one of the caves. The moment he appeared, the aura of an early-stage void turbulent cultivator spread out. The old man didn't hesitate to charge toward the escaping person and wave his hand. Thunderous rumbles echoed and a shockwave spread across the earth, reaching toward the escaping cultivator. This caused the cultivator to pause for a moment, then he was quickly knocked away. Scram! The escaping cultivator coughed out blood and was pushed out from the earth. The moment he was knocked back out, the withered prairie looked like a giant mouth and touched his body. At this instant, the cultivator let out a miserable scream and his body rapidly withered. He lost all water and blood and as his body died his origin soul flew out. However, black gas surrounded his origin soul and as he tried to escape the Yisai puppet caught up. His origin soul was shrouded by black fog as miserable screams echoed and then slowly dissipated. Fellow cultivator, this old man is Swazu. The person who provoked you have died, so please dissipate this Dao spell. This is the lowest point in the entire Heavenly Bull continent and can't be lost. Please don't destroy the foundation of all the rogue cultivators in the extreme sky prairie. The white-haired old man appeared in the sky. He looked at Wang Lin in the distance and clasped his hands. After he said those words, the grass on the earth no longer withered and water vapor flew toward Wang Lin's body. However, this much water, along with the essence from the cultivator, wasn't enough for Wang Lin to complete the 9th cycle. At this moment, he raised the hand from the ground and looked at the old man in the distance. Then he looked at the prairie and he pondered. Most of the rogue cultivators here are underground. Strange. The lower part of the continent? Or so to say, this is the place closest to the heart of the earth. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin didn't speak but glanced at the old man before leaving. The Yisai puppet was called back and returned to Wang Lin's side with the Mosquito King. He waved his sleeve and it was put away. As Wang Lin stepped forward, ripples echoed and he merged with the world. He used spatial bending to disappear and leave this prairie. It wasn't until Wang Lin left that the old man relaxed. Shadows came out from the earth and more than a dozen people looked at where Wang Lin went. Left Senior is decisive. This person is not someone we can provoke. His puppet is very strong and his beast is very strange. He himself is also very powerful. Such a person can't be without a sect. Yes, that person is very decisive and even killed the Black Mountain Dow's 4 people. He is indeed fierce, and based on his appearance, he is clearly a demonic cultivator. The Black Mountain Dow's 4 can only blame themselves. They followed him for many days. They are dead now, so let this matter be over. Fellow cultivators, scatter, the old man said before turning to leave. As for Wang Lin, after he used spatial bending for a second time, he appeared in a mountain range. According to Yan Lu's map, he was 3 months away from the inland sea. The Heavenly Bull continent is too big. Wang Lin summoned the mosquito beast and sat on its back as it flew east. The mosquito beast was very fast. This place was near the Green Devil continent, so there weren't many cultivators around, only mortal cities occasionally appeared. Wang Lin didn't know much about the Green Devil continent, but Kang Ren had an extreme fear of the Green Devil continent, as if anyone from there was terrifying. 10 days of time went by in a flash. Wang Lin crossed paths with some cultivators, but they didn't interact with each other, just passed by. Even if their divine senses spread out, after seeing Wang Lin's appearance, they hesitated a bit and left. After 10 days, Wang Lin used the 3rd spatial bending and disappeared from this mountain range. The eastern continent was very large, and the sea between the Heavenly Bull continent and the Green Devil continent was called the Pill Sea. Rumor had it that this sea was created by a pill that fell from the sky. However, this rumor was simply too ridiculous. It was impossible to imagine what kind of pill could create a sea like this. No one believed it, but this was passed down as a rumor for generations. The Pill Sea was endless as the waves raged. Although it was an inland sea, the wind and waves were still fierce. Because this was a place that belonged to both the Heavenly Bull continent and the Green Devil continent, the cultivators here were rather chaotic. Dark clouds covered the sky as thunder rumbled and rain fell to merge with the sea. Below the clouds, ripples appeared in the rain. Wang Lin's figure walked out from the ripples and stood above the sea. Looking at the sea below, Wang Lin's dried-up eyes shined brightly. He was only half a cycle away from completing his water essence. He didn't need much, just a sliver. However, the only method he could think of to obtain it in a short period of time was to condense it from the endless sea. Whether he could successfully condense it was still unknown. While pondering, Wang Lin's body slowly sank toward the seafloor. After an unknown amount of time, land appeared below him. There were many colorful corals and seaweed covering the seafloor, as well as countless fish and shrimp swimming nearby. Wang Lin sat down within the seaweed and closed his eyes, placed his hand on his knees, and formed a seal with his hands. The moment his hands formed a seal, the sea water around him trembled. Invisible ripples spread out in all directions. Wang Lin murmured, "Water essence, gather." After he spoke, the endless sea began to surge and thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. Wang Lin's body gave off no aura at this moment, as if he had merged with the Pill Sea. It was impossible to distinguish them, as if he was part of the sea. As the Pill Sea trembled and boiled, it should have attracted the rogue cultivators from both continents. However, a bloodbath was raging inside the sea, so no one paid any attention to the sea raging. The entire sea was surrounded by a layer of restrictions. This restriction was very mysterious, and even Wang Lin hadn't noticed it when he entered. Only when he was absorbing the Pill Sea did he vaguely notice it. This layer of restrictions allowed one to enter but not leave, thus completely sealing the Pill Sea. As Wang Lin absorbed the water essence, many miserable screams came from within the sea. Many rogue cultivators from the Heavenly Bull continent were being slaughtered by cultivators surrounded by a green ghostly fire. There was a large amount of cultivators like this in the Pill Sea. This video will end here.